Alright, this is my Kaylee 7. Hello, folks. Alright, let's talk about how I got into motovlogging. That's always a fun topic. Alright, so let's go back to 2006. I had a motorcycle, and I was having a good time on it. It was a 2005 Road King Classic. And I think it was, if I'm not mistaken, after riding for, I guess, a year, maybe even a year and a half, because I got my license in April of 2006, in April. And then I rode until, well, I've been riding until now, but I was riding all the way up until November of 2007, when I decided I was gonna make a YouTube video. And of course I didn't know how to do that, because back then it was, there were no digital video cameras for regular folks. I don't know how people got their videos up on YouTube back in 2006, 2007, because I didn't have access to the technology. I had videotape technology. I had a JVC camera with those little mini video discs, and I didn't know how to convert that into something I could put up on YouTube. It was a mystery to me. So what I did was I had a bunch of pictures, and I think I used Windows Movie Maker, and I just put all these pictures together on the timeline, and I tried every different fade, every different transition that the computer had. And I think I put music to it. I think I actually was able to download or load into the video some music from my collection on the computer. So the first two videos that I have, I think they were called Motorcycle Madness or Motorcycle Mania, and they are still on there to this day. It's just a series of photographs with some blue screens in between, with some basic white text saying this and that. Very, very basic, almost pathetically basic, really. And then see, I can't remember, the reason I'm hesitant is I can't remember when exactly I made a video called Road King Ride to Anger. I think it might have been in the spring of 2008, maybe? Because if my very first video was in November of 2007, I think then my Road King Ride to Anger was probably in 2008, right around May or June, if I'm not mistaken. So the way I figured it out was, one day I had this little Canon camera that it took digital pictures. And then I noticed there's a little circular button, and on it had a videotape feature, a video camera feature. And I thought, oh my God, this is it. This is how I do it. So then I started using that camera to film me. I would put it here and there, drive by it. I would put it on a post and stand in front of it and talk. And so that's how I did the Road King ride. And as I was riding down the highway, I was holding the camera with my hand, and I had the strap around my wrist so that when I needed to hit the brake, it was on my right hand. Then I could just flip the camera over my hand and use the brake, and then I would cut out all the herky-jerky footage of the camera flopping. And I really went into detail on that video about, putting the gloves on, straddling the bike, hitting the go switch. I had every little thing planned out and timed with the music, and it was with I believe it was with AC/DC's Back in Black. And I put that up on YouTube, and then I also put it up on Myspace, because back then that was Myspace was the thing, right? Not long after that, I made another video, and that was titled My Road King, or My 2005 Road King. And that video kind of put me on the map in terms of not subs, but views. I had like 50,000 views. That's how I got asked to do the partnership thing where I get AdSense money. I put a video out there, you know, again with that same camera, and so like for the first year and a half, all my videos were recorded with that little Canon camera, and since I couldn't do audio, I would record audio in post, and then I would talk over the video, almost like a DVD extras commentary thing. And that's pretty much how I started. Now, what inspired me in the very beginning was not anybody. I just decided I want to make a like a PBS type program, and I called it Easy Excursions, after Easy Rider. Get it? Easy Excursions. And I even stood in front of the camera and said, "This is Easy Excursions, where I will take you to beautiful places in North Carolina," something like that. And it was very stilted, and it's just, you know, very uncomfortable. It was not a motovlog. It was more like a travel page. I was trying to do like, you know, the stuff I had seen on PBS. But then, as time progressed, I started to watch other people's videos, and one of the very first ones that I saw was this guy in Hawaii. His name was 88 Hawaii. I think he has another page now called Spencerian, and he was one of the early motovloggers that was out there. He was riding around on his little sport bike there in Hawaii, where I had just moved from, and he seemed nice enough, and so I was watching his videos, and he was using one of those Kodak V570 cameras that goes, he had his helmet modified or something. I found him and I watched him, and then I found the Suburban Rider, and he was doing something similar. I don't know what his setup was exactly, but he was doing something similar. I also located the Smyrna Cowboy. He had a Kodak V570, he still does, and he had a helmet specially modified so that he could put the camera right in the front there and it wouldn't block his vision, because that's how people did it back then. They would just put the camera inside the visor and motovlog, and they couldn't see. It was very dangerous. Another one that was doing that, and who I think started the whole thing completely from scratch, was Mordeth 13. He goes by M13 now. I think he is the original motovlogger, but I didn't find him first. I found 88 Hawaii first. There were a couple others in the early days. Ashfoot was one. DJ Sipster 4 Brakes was another. I believe there was there was a really nice guy named Iceman. He lived in Korea. Unfortunately, he's no longer with us. Moved back to the United States, took his bike off the container from Korea, went to get some gas, and somebody turned left in front of him and he died. Well, that was very sad. Let's see, was there anybody else? There was Wooden Chairs, he's still out there. And Van Fly Height 1, I think his name is. So there were plenty of people in the community back then. Not a whole lot of them are still making motovlogs. I think Toast to Go still makes them, or at least he's got a Twitter page. Bilma, he was a major one back then. So I was trying to do what the good motovloggers were doing, but I didn't have the money or the permission really to spend the money to get a camera that I could stick inside my helmet. I tried everything I could. Finally, I ended up getting a what do you call it? A GoPro. I got a GoPro. I think it was a GoPro Hero 2 or 1. It was pretty early on. You had to put batteries in it. Uh-oh, we got a problem. Road rage. I'm getting off of this damn road. I tried that GoPro camera, and the battery didn't last very long. There's one problem it had, and the other one is that the sound was terrible. You couldn't use the sound at all. I put it in my helmet. There's a video I have called Testy, where you see how many times I try to modify it so that the video actually works with the audio in the helmet, but nope, failed. Then I came across this new camera. I think it was Smyrna Cowboy or Suburban Rider that told me about it. It was called the Vado, V-A-D-O. And it was a really small little handheld camera, digital. And I could slot it down inside in a full face helmet, because back then I wasn't wearing full face, I was always half helmet. But I went and got myself a Fulmer D4 helmet, and I took the styrofoam out of the chin area. I put the little Vado in there. It fit perfectly. And that's when I started making proper like motovlogs. And I don't think that was until about 2009, maybe later in 2009. Up until that point, I had always been doing videos of me riding, but voiceovers. That Vado camera opened the door for me. I used that for a few years. A lot of my earlier videos, if you go back in time, like 2010, 11, it's Vado. And then when that camera shit the bed, I got this Korean, I think it was Samsung or some kind of camera, and that wasn't working so good at all. Then I got it was like a barrel camera. It was like a cylinder, and it went on the side of the helmet. And I had to get a separate audio recording device to record the audio. It was terrible. The wind was bad because I was using a half helmet. I didn't want to use a full-faced. I wanted to motovlog with a half helmet. It was really hard back then. You couldn't really find stuff. The wind was always the biggest problem. But I think that was the camera that I was first able to use for a half helmet motovlog. And then that was probably around 2012, 13, maybe even 14. Goodness. Still struggling between the Vado, the Korean camera, and that barrel camera that was on the side of my helmet. I can't remember what the name of that camera was. I keep thinking it has an R in it. R for retard, Mike. Then in 2000, I think it was 14, I contacted Triple X Deadhead. He was making motovlogs and he was doing a good job, and I think he had a half helmet motovlog going, and I really liked what he was doing. So I asked him how he did it, and he said he had this GoPro Hero 3, I think it was, and he had a Sena backpack that attached to the back of it, and that would enable you to record audio. And he had a Sena 20S. I got the Sena 20. I got the whole setup that he had, basically. And that's when I really started getting like watchable, really watchable videos, I guess, in terms of the quality. The sound was better. The video was much better. I hope the video on this is all right. I never stopped to really see if if the video's straight on this camera, because I've been messing with it. And that's pretty much how I get into motovlogging. I wanted to see myself on the rides. I wanted to kind of relive them, share them. Ended up meeting a whole bunch of great people. There used to be a video sharing site called Live Video, and that was a lot of motovloggers were on there, and I got a page because they were on there too. And then when Live Video went teats up, everybody moved over to YouTube, where I was also already there. So I met a guy in Germany. He was watching my videos and had the same kind of bike I had, and so we got to be good friends. He came over in 2009 and we rode the Blue Ridge Parkway and the Tail of the Dragon. That was a video series I had way back called the Blue Ridge Parkway, or BRP Diaries or something. That was fun. I think motovlogging has added so much to the experience of riding a motorcycle. I can't even begin to express how influential the video side of things has been for me. I have met so many people I never would have met otherwise, all around the world. People in Australia, people in the Netherlands, people in Germany, people in Poland, all across the United States, Alaska, Canada, and I've ridden with quite a few of them as well. I mean, I never would have made friends or even met Moose 3971 if it hadn't been for YouTube. Wouldn't have met Suburban Rider, wouldn't have met the Smyrna Cowboy, Harley Trek, And even people locally, I wouldn't have known that they existed. I wouldn't have met NC Stoney. And now I've just recently made a new friend. That's a FedEx guy who's probably about an hour and a half, 2 hours away from me. But we went riding. That was awesome. So if you're thinking about getting into YouTube at all, I think you would definitely enjoy it. You don't have to do it forever. A lot of people do it for a while and then they lose interest, and that's the end of it. And that's fine. But while you're doing it, you'll meet new people, you'll learn new things. I think it's definitely worth it. Of course, it does cost some money. I'm always getting new cameras, and I'm gonna get a new computer to make the camera video work and all that. New programs. But the rewards, at least for me, have been great. And many. And now that I've been doing this for, oh geez, how many years? Technically 13 years, more like 12, and I don't really see any reason to stop. I consider YouTube as integral to my existence as Facebook has become. And I don't just share motorcycle videos, as you may know. I have another channel for the stuff that probably doesn't really fit on this channel. People get used to seeing a certain thing on here and they get pissed off when you show them something different sometimes. And I know I shouldn't be making it for them. I'm making it for myself. But at the same time, you know, it doesn't really cause any harm to me to simply put that other content onto my other channel, which is brilliantly named. You're wondering what the name is? What's the name of your other channel, Mike? Mike Cayley 7's other channel. Smart, right? I think if you go to my YouTube homepage or channel, whatever, I think it's listed on there somewhere. I did a recent video of me just practicing, and not really motovlogging, just practicing in the lot. I put that on there in case anybody really wants to see it. A lot of gun videos, shoe reviews. I like to review different products I get, and shoes seems to be one of those that I like to make videos about them. I know it's weird, right? Like a fetish. Shoes. Alright, so this is Mike Cayley 7 on the road, having a good time with Tavita, named after my dad. Should probably call this bike Leatherneck. My dad he always went by Leatherneck. He was a Marine. I'm very damn proud of it. But my bike is not a Marine, my bike is just a bike. So Tavita, it stays. Alright, this is Mike Cayley 7. I'll talk to you later.